Welcome to the capital of California, everyone. This is where all the state's amazing laws are made. Stuff like criminals can now steal and not get into trouble. Or by 2035, every car sold here will have to be an electric vehicle. They're letting people out of prison and handing out welfare like it's no one's business. No wonder they almost voted the governor out a few months back. That's him sitting in that window right there. Well, maybe that window. He's behind one of them. I'd stay up there if I was in charge too. 'Cause when you look around here and see what's happening just blocks away, it certainly isn't very pretty. I wonder how often the governor walks the streets of Sacramento like I did.
They need to put the homeless in somewhere. I mean, that's mental or non-mental. You got people out here on the streets that need help. You can't give help if you don't know what's going on. You know, like I said once before, when Kevin Johnson was mayor, I asked him, I said, why don't you come out here and look like we are? Come out here for a week with a backpack and clothes on. None of your security. Come out here by yourself and you can see how we live. And he looked at me and walked off.
That guy's pissed. Here in Sacramento, there's a lot to complain about. But it's the same thing here you see in every other city. Skyrocketing home prices, crime, drugs, gangs, homeless people everywhere, and just a bad vibe in parts of town. It's getting more dangerous, and there's just too many broke people in Sacramento. This was day 17 or 18 on my California road trip. At this point, I kind of lost track, to be honest. But it was towards the end. There were homeless problems in just about every single place I went in California. But it was here in Sacramento that I saw things I had never seen before. Downtown Sacramento is actually really nice. I was very surprised. And there are these nice leafy burbs just blocks from downtown with little shops and nicely maintained homes. But it was strange to walk around here and see this everywhere. On every block, there's tents and people laying on sidewalks. It was oddly peacefully quiet, like I was walking through summer camp early in the morning. It's sad. These are somebody's daughters or sons or dads or best friends. In case you didn't know, Sacramento has more homeless people than San Francisco now. Like twice as many. The number of homeless here has gone up 67% in the last 2 years. This is all new for Sacramento. They don't know what to do. I think they were probably thinking the homeless wave was coming at some point, but it's like a tidal wave. So far, their solution's the same playbook its bigger brothers use. Try to find places for people to live, offer help, and if they don't want help, stand back and hope they don't screw the place up. By the way, Sacramento is run by Democrats and has been since forever now. Driving around Sacramento, you see this all over the place. But the craziest homeless camp I saw here was this abandoned homeless village on the north end of town. That was crazy. I walked through this place at 10 in the morning on a Sunday, and no one was here. Not a single person. They're working on getting more shelters built here, but a lot of these people don't want to go into shelters anyway. 1 out of every 4 homeless people in the country lives in California. Some of them need a mental hospital. Some need rehab. Some need a job. Many burned too many bridges and have nowhere else to go. But all of them need shelter. Anyways, Sacramento says they're going to enforce public camping now because of all the public backlash. I hear business owners are refusing to pay their taxes if the downtown sidewalks aren't cleaned up. Uh-oh. The mayor of Sacramento just said, I think it's right to say, There's certain places where it's just not appropriate to camp. You think? Gavin Newsom finally admitted all these homeless camps are unacceptable and called his own state too damn dirty. Damn, it's about time. I guess if the nonprofits actually solved homelessness here, they'd be out of jobs, and then they'd be homeless.
Nobody has nowhere to go. Simple as that. You're either camping out in the street or you're camping out in the river. You know, people have no place to go, and then, you know, your income ain't gonna help you get in. Unless you know somebody that's gonna rent your room, but other than that, your income is your income. And like I said, you know, you gotta fight somewhere to go. Food, shelter, it's cold.
Then there's this guy. Remember him? He oversees a clean little mini tent camp. They turned a parking lot into a safe spot where people can camp if they follow the rules. And from what I hear, they follow the rules all right. He's pissed off because it's unaffordable here. And he has a point. Sacramento rent's gone up 25% in the last year alone. And word is some landlords don't want to rent to people with housing vouchers. A lot of broke people fled San Francisco and Oakland because those places peaked years ago. And a lot of the remote tech workers who wanted cheaper houses came here too. Even though so many people here are struggling, it's still way more affordable here than the Bay Area. An average house like this is only $500,000 as of this writing. That's not going to last for long. And even a modest price drop won't be much to help the homeless people we saw earlier. The nicest part of town is way out in the burbs up here. Places like Folsom, El Dorado Hills, Orangevale, and Granite Bay. It's growing fast up here, I'll tell you that. You can get a home up here for like $800K, and they're nice homes. Just upper middle class conservative burbs with good schools and very little crime. I think the secret might be out about Sacramento's burbs. And in nearby Placer County too. But I know this is what you guys want to see. This is what the bad side of town looks like. This is Del Paso Heights, which is by far the worst part of town I saw. It was pretty bad. I was told this is where the gangs live. We're about 10 minutes north of downtown. Violent crime in Sacramento is up 25% since last year. There's just more criminals here now, and the cops seem to be struggling to keep themselves motivated. Kind of hard to enforce the law when you're avoiding conflict and letting people out of jail. It's dangerous here, and half the population in California is 1 month away from eviction. These people here probably pay about $2,800 for rent in this part of town. I know. It sounds like the same story coming out of all of California's big cities. It's like 3/4 of the state's like this now. What the hell?
I think they're doing a great job of running California. Every state should be like this.
I figured you'd say that, Mappy, since you're so woke and all. I think the only people that enjoy the way California's being run are the people getting free stuff.
Too bad they lock up the deodorant here, and not the criminals.
Mappy, that might be the funniest thing that you've said in a long, long time. You get an A. Of course, there's some good things about Sacramento. I have to be fair. Here in downtown, there's plenty of good paying jobs for people, and there's a lot of entertainment. There's culture here. It's cleaner and it's way safer in downtown Sacramento than most California downtowns. You can tell this place is trying to shed its reputation as a cow town. They're gentrifying things here and evolving stuff. It's much more densely packed now, and it's stimulating. And again, I have to say, it's pretty damn clean. Downtown at night is actually very pleasant. I walked all around downtown the night I was here, and there were a lot of people down here for one reason or another. The Kings were in town, so a lot of people were going to the NBA game. I ran into a group doing a Dias de los Muertos night bike ride. There must have been hundreds of different bikes in that group, all very nice people, and they all felt very safe. There's little diverse places to eat and drink and have fun down here. The best part is I saw very few homeless people or drug addicts wandering around downtown. I don't know if that's because they chase them off into the nearby neighborhoods, but it was nice to let my guard down, unlike in Los Angeles or San Diego. Jesus. In the morning, I enjoyed a nice breakfast at the Morning Fork in Midtown. That's the leafy burb with the tents all over. Great place, super cool people. I highly recommend it. And wow, I'm going to need a pitchfork to eat all that. Sacramento isn't the worst place I've been to in California. Not even close. But there are major challenges here, just like there are in the rest of the country. As it stands, it's still cheap here, and there are good jobs to be had. And it can be exciting. My time in big cities in California had come to an end. I'd stop in a few other little small towns along the way, but for the most part, the road trip was over. And I had seen a lot while adventuring through this massive state. It began in the desert, where I met people living an alternative lifestyle. I spent days and days along the coast, where I saw progress and failure. And we can't forget about my trip back to my own hometown. That was a real downer. Is California as bad as it seems from the outside? No, but it's getting worse all the time. Good people are leaving, and lots of bad people are coming. I'm not old enough to remember California's glory days, but from what I do remember, it was still pretty darn cool here until about 15 years ago. Did the politics change? Did the economy change? What changed? All I know is whoever sits up there in that office has a lot of things to worry about. I wouldn't want that job. No way. All right, so Joe, when you and I were emailing back and forth for a while, and at one point you said that you're not a fan of Gavin Newsom and you think he's ruining your state, and it all starts in Sacramento.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, everything he passes, I guess it really got exposed to me during, 2020. We all know how crazy that year was, but with the, BLM riots and other stuff that was going on downtown. I didn't think Sacramento was big enough to have those kind of riots, that you saw in LA and New York and whatnot. But I went downtown a couple times that year, and you saw stuff boarded up. You saw streets closed down, and we had a curfew for a while there. I think it was like at 9 p.m. Everyone in the county had to be at home. But you've well documented the homeless problem in Sacramento, as well as the entire state of California, the high taxes. And I feel like Sacramento used to be immune to the high cost of living, but we had an influx of people from the Bay Area, which has made housing more expensive. And then just the other taxes that Newsom has passed over the years. I know he didn't start out with the gas tax, but he increased it. And, I think we already have the highest income tax in the nation. So we deal with that and, high property taxes and whatnot as well.
Yeah. I do like Sacramento. I've been to way worse places. I didn't know I was going to really like it, and San Jose as well. I hadn't been to Sacramento and San Jose since I was like a teenager, and I kept hearing about how bad it was. And actually, they're not that bad compared to like LA and the Bay Area and even San Diego now. It does seem to be getting worse with homelessness and crime there in Sacramento. I guess I'm wondering, like, how do people feel about that?
I think people are starting to get fed up with the homeless problem specifically because it's starting to leak into the suburbs. We have a Home Depot right up our street, and, someone was attacked by a homeless person. And, we're a good 20 minutes from downtown where most homeless are. So I think that would probably be the biggest issue that people are kind of getting fed up with is the homeless. And actually right by my work, we go on walks on break or whatever, and there's homeless camps everywhere. And we've had to step over piles of garbage and, and then the police will come, they'll leave. And then, a week later, some new tenants will move back in. And then, when I leave work, there's a homeless camp right off the side of the freeway. And I think that's just kind of been the biggest problem. And I know it's a nuanced problem. There's no easy fix or solution. But whatever we're doing, it clearly isn't working.
It's a statewide problem, and I don't think they have a solution. And they keep saying they're going to build affordable housing. They say they're going to build these like shipping container houses or like little tiny homes in villages that'll get like 500 people off the streets, but there's like 200,000 in California or whatever it is. So, they have just a huge problem, and it's too bad that it's kind of making its way to where you guys are at, because I think part of the problem is the Bay Area. A lot of people left that when COVID hit. A lot of people realized they didn't have to work from downtown. They wanted cheaper. Sacramento's kind of a cool place. It's not that far away, so that jacked up your home prices. But then you had a bunch of lowlives move in from the Bay Area too that wanted cheaper living. That couldn't afford it out there, and so you got the good and the bad with the influx of people.
Right. And Sacramento's definitely grown over the years, and it hasn't been all bad. We've gotten some nicer amenities. We got the new basketball arena built about 6 years ago where the Kings play downtown, and with that became a nicer downtown district. And I remember when I was going to school in LA, and every time I come back home to visit, it was like what once was a vacant lot was, oh look, there's a brand new shopping center. And it seemed like it happened that quick, like just took a few months. But now it just seems like with the economy and everything going right, a lot of those shopping centers have become more deserted, I guess, like a lot of for lease or space available signs out there.
Okay. I got the impression that overall Sacramento is better in terms of jobs and things to do, and it's kind of cleaned up and gentrified than it used to be, but it's still got some work to do to get even more better.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the old stereotype of Sacramento was it was a dusty old cow town, and you go past a certain area and it's just nothing but cows and fields and everything. And it's definitely more of a mid-sized city now. I definitely wouldn't put it up there with an LA or San Francisco, but it's definitely got nicer parts and more amenities and whatnot as it's grown for sure. But like we previously said, it's come with more of the big city problems. So the homeless, the traffic. The traffic's actually gotten really bad now. So or at least a lot worse than I remember growing up. And we, like we said, the cost of living as well.
I have to say that California is headed in a bad place, in my opinion. And I hope it doesn't get worse.
I mean, my wife and I have talked about moving out of state. We have family up in Idaho, and but we're here for now, making the best of it. And we both have good jobs here, and so my family's here. Her family's down in Fresno, but we're not far away from them either. So we definitely make the best of it, and we have a good little life here. So
good. Well, stay up and keep making Sacramento as good as it can possibly be. Are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. And I can also help you find your new house too. Email me and I'll work with you on not just helping you figure out where to move, but I can help you find your perfect home too. That's right. I know awesome, reliable agents all over the country, and I'd love to connect you to somebody who can help you search for that perfect home. Hey guys, if you learned something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great. You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more.
This is Sage, Nick's manager. This has been a Corner House Entertainment production.